Hello and welcome to yet another video. This is the 5th episode of the story, and a chance meeting leads Naruto Uzumaki to learn Genjutsu. Sure, he lacks talent, but once Naruto sets his mind to something, he will never give up until he completes it, and Naruto will not stop until he is a master of Genjutsu. Please like and subscribe to show your support. Now let's begin. He had made a full recovery 2 weeks after Naruto's failed date with Ino. The 10 D-rank missions were successfully completed by Team 7, with Kakashi taking the lead in their training. Instead of teaching his team ninjutsu, he concentrated on creating staging scenarios that challenged Team 7's teamwork, creativity, and chakra control. As Naruto approached the bridge, he directed his sensor towards his teammates who were engaged in some sort of exercise. He sensed a slight surge of chakra form around Sasuke's hand as he grasped the small object Sakura hurled at him. Sasuke threw a senbon at Sakura, prompting her to repeat the action. They stopped exercising when Naruto appeared in front of them. Despite his discomfort, Naruto was aware that they couldn't be held responsible for the situation. His lack of effort to involve himself in his teammates' lives meant that he didn't mind if it interfered with their efforts. According to Naruto, Sakura thanked Sasuke for his aid in exercising. Sasuke replied with a nonchalant tone, "Very well, as always." He paused to catch a glimpse of Naruto. "Are you interested in continuing your training elsewhere?" Sakura asked. Sakura was approached by Sasuke, who raised his eyebrow in return. "As we wait for Kakashi-sensei," she quickly stated, while we're waiting." With a shrug, Sasuke smiled. "Once Kakashi returns, it's clear that we have completed our training." She looked at Naruto. Naruto asked Kakashi-sensei if they could call him when he arrived. Naruto then waved off and watched his fellow soldiers leave to do whatever they pleased. His teammates had trained alone before, and they had excluded him, whether indirectly or not. It was clear to Naruto that they wouldn't give him the time he needed to be friends, even with his best efforts. He would occasionally ponder what might have occurred if he had approached the issue from a different perspective or attempted to tone down his enthusiasm. He started his self-directed chakra control routine, which he currently employs with 5 leaves. He was engaged in the workout, but his thoughts immediately boiled over to Kurenai. Kurenai had been trying to be as close as possible to him for the past 2 weeks. During training, Kurenai was always there to help him stretch. The way she aided him had been transformed. The intensity of her touch persisted as she moved her hands around his body, touching sensitive areas that made his heart skip and stomach skip. Her fighting style had also altered. She pushed her body towards him as much as she could, causing him to have fantasies that diverted him sufficiently to ensure her victory. Naruto questioned whether she did it for the sake of advantage during their spars, or if it was just his imagination. He was definitely haunted by it, and on more than one occasion, he expressed doubts about whether Kurenai had any feelings for him. He shook his head in wonder at the prospect of a beautiful, intelligent, mature adult like Kurenai finding someone like him and gave full attention to his exercise. Naruto's voice was heard as he rose up, but only after an unspecified period. "I'm not sure what all these people mean, but I want to say something specific. The arrival of Kakashi-sensei." Sasuke and Sakura halted their practice of balancing kunai between each other while standing on the nearby river and then returned to the bridge. As soon as they arrived, Kakashi walked up to his students. "Good morning everybody," Kakashi said. "You'll find that I have some positive developments for you to consider." "What is it?" Sakura inquired. "I've nominated 3 individuals for the Chunin selection exams. From my perspective, you 3 are all set and ready to go. You not only managed to finish an S-rank mission, but you have also developed a level of proficiency that allows you to handle almost any exam scenario." Kakashi presented each of them with a form. "Refresh these marks and arrive at room 301 in the academy before 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you want to take part in tomorrow, will be there. If you're not up to it, don't worry. The majority of shinobi fail to pass the exam on their initial try. Today's training is no longer available, so you have the option to decide. He departed as quickly as he entered the room. It seems like fun, Sasuke remarked. His eyes were dazzling with activity. Sakura remarked that she found it interesting and responded with a, "Yeah, cool." Her hand was trembling. "More on Tuesday, I'll be seeing you." Sakura almost eluded the crowd as he fled. Naruto was given a brief respite when Sasuke left, just as quickly. Naruto's expression was one of dismissal. He was aware that he would be attending the exam to exhibit the perilous nature of Genjutsu. In his training ground, Naruto had been actively refining his techniques for the past few hours. He utilized his sensor ability to experience the world around him after completing a kata. His sensor's normal range was 70 meters, but he could push it further than that. Following the separation of him and his teammates, Naruto began to ponder his actions. Naruto was initially accosted by an eccentric shinobi wearing hats of bamboo and resembling the protector of the hidden rain for his forehead, when they tried to persuade him not to attempt the Chunin exams. Naruto's refusal led to the shinobi fighting him. Naruto had successfully defeated him using a combination of Genjutsu and Taijutsu techniques, which was fortunate. He recollected the conversation they had afterwards. "You surpass my expectations," the shinobi had stated. "I will just show you how good Genjutsu is, as much fun as the other martial arts I am learning. Hold on tight." The shinobi giggled. "The blade of illusion was not as much to my expectations and should have been." The fact that Naruto was in a bingo book didn't fully sink into him made him feel full. "You're in the best shape for the exam, right?" Following the shinobi's disappearance, Naruto enjoyed a pleasant lunch at the Nara household while taking pause from his training. Despite Shikamaru's warning to his parents that the exams would be a drag, Naruto was not taken seriously when he revealed his plan to participate. Following that, he went back to his training location and persisted with his routine. He had no intention of being stopped from taking the exams by anyone. "I can't believe she's not here yet." Naruto's expression was one of grumbling. There must have been something to prevent Kurenai from training with him, given that she was almost always on time. It's possible that she was occupied with her team or something else. Naruto's concern was resolved, and he continued to train by improving his taijutsu techniques and hand seal speed. Naruto halted his training after an hour had passed. "I'll simply go out and see her." After taking a refreshing, steamy shower under the waterfall, Naruto left his training ground and headed towards Kurenai's flat. The bright chakra of Kurenai washed over him, and he was in close proximity to it. Despite the refreshing familiarness of her chakra, he was still skeptical about Kurenai's well-being. He increased his velocity and eventually arrived at the entrance of the apartment building in Kurenai. The sudden sensation of Kurenai's chakra pulsating and negative emotions caused his sensor to go crazy. Naruto rushed to his sensei's apartment and focused solely on her chakra, Kurenai. He arrived at Kurenai's apartment in a brief but unforgettable moment. Despite his efforts to force open Kurenai's door with half-consciousness, he chose not to do so, fearing that any harm would cause him distress. He knocked on the door and awaited. He did not make use of his sensor to observe Kurenai's actions. The door was not only a breach of privacy for Kurenai, but had also been unlocked before he could enter. After hearing Kurenai's frantic voice, Naruto looked on with a surprised look and smile. "What are you doing here?" Her hair was in a state of disrepair, along with fresh tear marks on her face and pink cheeks. She was dressed in a bathrobe that barely extended to the center of her exposed thighs and flaunted her chest. Naruto was jolted out of his euphoric state by Kurenai, who then snapped at him and called out, "Naruto." His heart shattered for a moment when he looked straight into Kurenai's eyes. Her once bright, eye-catching red eyes, which were otherwise glowing, were now dull, bruised, and bloody. She softly asked, "What are you looking for?" "Our training today was missed by you." You're telling me, yeah, I did. Must have been unable to keep up with the passage of time. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Naruto responded with, that's fine. The two were left in a consoling manner. Naruto's constant staring at Kurenai resulted in her pulling her robe. She muttered. Naruto looked down at Kurenai's hand and felt his gasping for air. Her robe was stained with blood from a cut on her palm. Naruto inquired, "What's the problem?" Kurenai inquired about the fate of his hand, which he answered with a "nothing" response. "It's not anything of the sort." "Alright, I'm not sure what you meant by good. Kurenai-sensei, I'll see you later." Naruto's expression was one of a frown. He yearned to assist her, but if Kurenai didn't want his assistance, doing so would only worsen the situation. "Naruto, please give me your attention." He gazed at Kurenai and witnessed her grasping her unharmed hand. "Get inside. Tea will be on our table if you ask me." "Would that be a good question to ask?" Naruto nodded and followed Kurenai inside her apartment. The door was slammed back by Kurenai, who then placed her unaided hand on the doorknob and activated an silencing seal. Naruto removed his sandals and walked into Kurenai's living room. He sat on the sofa and surrounded by pieces of broken glass bottle, then crawled over a spray of smelly liquid while Kurenai made his way to the kitchen without any noise. Naruto surveyed the bottles on the table before turning to investigate in the kitchen. He aimed to assist Kurenai in any manner possible. She had been present with him on numerous occasions and, despite their brief acquaintance, she had become one of his closest friends. Naruto was honestly taken aback by Kurenai's presence. He heard the breaking of the dishes and was present with her in moments like these, holding her hand around. There were many things that Naruto was not proficient in. He was prone to anger, stubbornness, and impatience, but he knew the emotional distress of feeling this way. He was aware of the actions he needed to take to improve Kurenai's mood. "Leave me alone, Kurenai," Naruto said to her as he helped her stand and led her to the sofa. He looked at Kurenai. "I'm not sure what's happening, could you inform me? I'm grateful for your support, so please don't hesitate to contact me." Even as Kurenai looked at him with a broken heart, Naruto kept smiling. Tears began to form in the corners of her eyes, and she tried to bluff them away, but Naruto was patient until Kurenai answered. After that, Kurenai embraced him and began to cry into his chest. Her hold was so intense that it could barely keep him in check. He took some time to return Kurenai's embrace, but when he put his arms around her and threw their arms round him, attempting to comfort her by gently rubbing her back and whispering comforting words into her ear, which reassured him that the comments had been helpful in times of pain. For an extended period, Naruto provided her with reassurance and comfort. While doing so, he couldn't help but notice her fragrance, which was a mix of her usual floral scent and the smell of liquid that had spilled from the table onto the floor below. After a while, Kurenai's tears faded and she moved on, finally giving up Naruto. Naruto's chest was filled with tears, but it didn't affect his story. Kurenai asked, "Are you feeling better, or was it true?" "What's the truth?" Kurenai inquired, stating that someone close to him had died while on a mission to the land of water. When Naruto saw her haunted eyes, she felt a slight chill. He rebuffed the notion of his last encounter with a shinobi from the land of water, as it had less significance. "I'm not sure what to make of it, can you clarify?" Kurenai's silence caused him to worry that he might have made a mistake. It wasn't his business. It was meant to be a regular mission, she stated. "I believed he would come back home unharmed, but now I'm left wondering if it's just another sign of life being unpredictable. It's unrealistic to assume that certain situations will occur, and you can't sit back and watch until you're far away from danger." Naruto's expression was one of scowling. Despite not fully comprehending Kurenai's situation, he had to make a statement. "I have learned that if someone dies in combat, it is highly likely that they will be remembered with great honor. We must strive to live the best possible life while we are still alive. He said, "It didn't sound right to me, but I just wanted it to be okay." Kurenai wiped her eyes with her hands. During times like these, we can't do much more than that. Is it safe for you to be in this situation? He inquired. I will be, Kurenai said with a small yet painful smile. Naruto, I am grateful for your contribution to the story. Naruto's expression was sweet. I take pleasure in it. You can always rely on me for assistance, just ask. Her face reverted to its original color, as if his words had revitalized her. Naruto observed the moment and grimaced. I'm not keen on going anywhere, but it's a bit too late for me to leave. Before he got up, Kurenai grabbed his wrist. It's time for you to say, stay tuned. I have a spare bedroom available to me. Naruto's decline was evident. Kurenai nodded in agreement, and Naruto couldn't resist the panicking look in her eyes when asked. Alright, so be it. The Chunin exams are scheduled for tomorrow, so I must sleep. The tone of Kurenai's smile was more reminiscent of a grin on his face. Agreeable? Good night, Naruto. After being aided, she made her way to her room. Naruto observed her hips twitch and flickered before proceeding to the spare bedroom. The walls were devoid of any texture or color, but it had all the necessary amenities for a standard bedroom. After putting his clothes on the dresser, he got up and fell asleep in the bed. Naruto inquired, "What's the problem with Kurenai?" He was unaware of the reasons for her standing at the door. Kurenai's response was, "I can't sleep," as he moved from one foot to the other. He was slurping and had no choice but to go back to sleep. Do you need anything? He eventually stooped on his back. I'm here for you if you ever need me, right? He exclaimed. Upon realizing that Kurenai had come with him to bed, he immediately began to sweat. Naruto observed Kurenai's calmness, causing him to fall asleep again. Shortly after, Naruto noticed Kurenai wrapped around the right side of his body, causing her to contort her limbs and make as much skin-to-skin contact as possible. Naruto asked, "What are you doing?" when he suddenly became uncomfortable as Kurenai was only wearing her underwear. Our objective was to enhance our performance. What is the definition of comfortable? She placed her breasts on his back and wrapped her legs around his own. Despite everything, Kurenai still felt uneasy. She shifted them so that her breasts were on his chest and her head was resting on him, while their legs remained in knots. Naruto noticed that Kurenai's blush faded when he felt his breathing even out. He was happy to help her fall asleep. The morning after, Naruto woke up with a distinct lack of heat. The sheets were not tangled and the spot where he believed Kurenai had fallen asleep was cold. Before leaving his bed, he put on his clothes and proceeded to the living room with a deep breath. Despite the time, his eyes widened as he noticed how little time had passed. Kurenai said hello to Naruto as she sipped her tea. The table and surrounding area were spotless, and Kurenai looked as fresh as it did in the past. Hey, he declared. Did you have a good night's sleep? Kurenai nodded in reply. Very well, according to the speaker. As soon as I slammed into my bed, I was dozing off. Oh, my God. Hearing that word caused his stomach to sink. It was a mere dream. Naruto responded with a nonchalant tone, is that something? He sat with Kurenai, enjoying the tea and food served to him. Thanks for the lunch, mister. Kurenai's response was a smile, and she proceeded to sip her tea without hesitation. Naruto sported a smile and began to consume his lunch, relishing the comfortable silence that followed. He went back to the living room after cleaning his dishes and gazed at Kurenai with gleaming red eyes, feeling pleased. Her bandaged hand caught her eye and she patted down beside her. After he finished, she smiled. I have a question for the Chunin exams, can you please give me an answer? You're taking them, aren't you? Naruto nodded. When Kurenai put her hand over his shoulder, he blushed. Good, good, great. Naruto nodded in agreement, revealing that lying is an essential skill for any ninja, particularly a Genjutsu practitioner. It's my opinion that you should endeavor to be untrustworthy of your competition. Try to mimic your behavior before meeting me to outshine your competition. I'm not sure I can handle it, Naruto declared. Last night, I came across a hidden range shinobi who instantly recognized me. During our stay in the Land of Waves, Kakashi-sensei was recognized by the shinobi we battled. Right away. Naruto expressed a heartfelt delight when Kurenai pouted and looked at him like he was adorable. Is it true that I will be deceiving my own peers if I do what they want? My enemies will readily identify me, and they may not be offended if I act in a silly and unintelligent way. Naruto paused, grasping at his own words. I'm not saying that your advice is bad, but it's just not working, Kurenai quipped. Naruto was filled with happiness as he heard the melody. Don't be anxious about it. Naruto nodded in agreement. I'm compelled to go home and prepare for the exams. Can you please be okay? Kurenai-sensei responded with a smile, and the boy led him to the entrance. I am going to be. I appreciate your consideration of my concerns. Naruto sported his shoes and proceeded to the entrance, facing Kurenai as he made his way through. I'll be fine, really. Naruto, I am grateful for your contribution. Naruto's lips were touched by her, and she leaned in. The initial shock transformed into a warm, tingly feeling that spread across his entire face. May God be with you, she whispered, before closing the door. Naruto remained in that spot for a brief moment, with his cheeks running back and forth. His face was burning, and despite his desire to spend more time with Kurenai, he had an exam to clear. Subsequently, a fully prepared Naruto made it to the academy entrance. He observed Sasuke and Sakura standing beside him. Sasuke would take part regardless of the outcome, but he believed that Sakura would not be decisive. She appeared just as enthusiastic as Sasuke. Naruto inquired if they were prepared as he went towards them. While Sakura smiled, Sasuke uttered a smirk. His question was answered and they were admitted to the academy. Naruto said to Sakura, "You looked as if you weren't sure about going in." Sakura struck her tongue. I may have been, but I can't be indecisive about my actions and whether I want to pursue and achieve them. Naruto nodded as he spoke. Sakura's display of determination caught him off guard, but he wasn't entirely convinced that she had what it took. When Team 7 climbed to the second floor, Naruto noticed the sign that was supposed to say 201, but actually said 301. Naruto sarcastically denied his orchestration. It's an underwhelming Genjutsu performance. There's a Genjutsu on the door sign. Naruto shouted at his companions. Are you sharp? Sasuke asked. You're a Genjutsu guy, right? Naruto asked, without disclosing to his teammates that he had the ability or willingness to learn. In the Land of Waves, you employed Genjutsu to harm that Terumi woman. The method you employed with my Sharingan was recorded by me. Naruto stated, you're suggesting that you took it, as he explained. TCH. Genjutsu isn't something I need to take, and even if I do, I can use it freely without feeling like I'm losing control. Naruto retorted. Fine. It was pointless to argue in the face of exam day. Team 7 ascended the stairs, but were stopped before they could ascend to the next floor. The girl, wearing a pink sleeveless shirt and the hidden leaf forehead protector, had yelled out, "Hey, turn on." Sasuke asked, "What is your request?" You didn't even make an effort to get into room 301, the girl inquired. There was a certain quality about her that I could relate to. It's not 301, Sakura replied. The sign is simply Genjutsu layered on top of it. Her expression brought a smile to her face. I had the impression that it was like that. Regardless, I'm Tentenant. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to meet you. He was aware of her identity. Sasuke and Naruto are my friends, and I'm Sakura. At the Dragon's Claw, I saw you, Naruto said. You have a lot to offer me, Takeshi, she said. She sported a smiley expression. To be honest, Takeshi's shop is a perfect match for me due to his exclusive specials and weapons. In any case, I hope the exam is going well. I'm eager to hear whether or not Naruto is doing well, as I want to confirm if Takeshi was right about you. Naruto asked, "What's up?" He has a liking for you too, Tenten said before departing. With a shrug, Sasuke proceeded to walk up the stairs, while Sakura followed closely behind. Naruto observed Tenten return to her teammates a green jumpsuit and saber-haired boy with long brown hair and distinctive white eyes. Before departing, he observed Tenten prevent the brown-haired Hyuga from attacking a ninja wearing the hidden cloud forehead protector, and the green-clad boy assisted the Hyuga while protecting him from the cloud python. In the end, the Hyuga and his team separated from the cloud ninja. Before ascending the stairs, Naruto pondered the hidden cloud. He pondered the dynamics of Tenten's team and not just the hidden cloud ninja. He sensed that they shared a genuine connection, which he had not with his teammates. Frankly speaking, he was aware that it didn't matter much in the end. If he could pass the exams and become a Chunin, his teammates would probably be better off than him. Currently, he would only tolerate Sasuke and Sakura. He was in the entrance room 301 with his teammates when he saw Kakashi. Thanks, Naruto, for joining us on this occasion. With everyone here, it's time to take the exams. Sasuke asked, "What's up?" Ninja must be grouped in teams of 3 during this exam. If Naruto had not arrived, neither of you would have been able to enter. Sakura inquired about the reason behind his statement. Why did you lie? I didn't want you to be forced into it. Doing something is best when you feel like doing it, not because you have to do it. May it be a point that I can feel proud of my accomplishments and wish for good fortune in the future. I have confidence in you. Team 7's determination to excel in the Chunin exam strengthened after the smoke cleared and Kakashi disappeared. The doors were opened and they were ready to start a new chapter in their careers as the ninjas of Hidden in the Leaves Village. Naruto was taken aback when he discovered the multitude of ninja in room 301, where they had all met before. His sensor almost experienced a surge of energy due to the abundance of chakra emanating from the ninja group. Prior to engaging in conversation with them, he felt a more familiar chakra source approaching him and his teammates. Sasuke! Ino yelled as she was about to wrap her arms around him from the rear. Despite the cold gaze of Sasuke, she couldn't find him and fell limp. What you did to Naruto, that's what I heard, Sasuke declared. Avoid trying to learn about things that don't matter. He shifted his gaze and exited, with his hands folded in his waistcoat. Naruto was taken aback by the sight of him. Sakura uttered the words, Sasuke. Ino was nervous and glared at Sakura, saying, "Shut up, billboard brow." Sakura screamed at Ino, "Don't get angry just because you have your own problems. If you could ask me anything, what would it be?" Ino questioned. "You didn't make it." Shikamaru responded, remarking, "Just leave it there." Shikamaru shrugged, "This is not your business, so please don't do it. Is it not important to exhibit solidarity during this exam? You can choose to fight with Sakura on different occasions." Ino's tongue was pressed against her skin. "It doesn't matter what you decide on." She sported a smiley expression. "Sakura, I pray that the finest kunoichi will come out on top." As he grinned, Sakura also did. "Indy, I'm not going to lie, because I have a plan for it." Naruto was unaware of how their rivalry had started. He didn't want to end his friendship with Shikamaru just because they had a crush on the same person, which could have been why he never did. However, there could have been a more profound explanation for his lack of knowledge. Despite the circumstances, they managed to get along on their day off. In either scenario, he wasn't troubled by it. Sasuke's defense of him resulted in his death. He was unsure of what could have caused him to do it. They were not just friends, but teammates in a team environment. "Are you present with us, Nagoya?" Shikamaru inquired. Naruto's eyes flicked, his mind still racing. When Naruto asked if Naruto was his son, he replied with an answer of course not. Shikamaru nodded and said, "Did I tell your parents?" No. "I'm not sure if you know, but I think this test will be quite difficult." Naruto stated, "Although you can't quite deny it, you do have Chai," in reference to the anime. Naruto realized that Chai's size was a surefire way to provoke a Kimichi, who is normally reserved, with the phrase, sensitive, before reacting. "A person you can rely on." Shikamaru mumbled casually that it was accurate. "Naruto, do you need a chip?" Chai inquired. Naruto smiled and said, "Oh, my God," as he took out a few potato chips and swallowed them. Despite not having the same relationship with Chai as Shikamaru, he always managed to have a good time hanging out with him. He believed Chai was similar to those who would humiliate him, but he ended up being a pleasant person. "It looks as though we're all here," Kiba declared, with his teammates trailing closely behind. While Sakura was walking towards Sasuke, Naruto noticed Ino leaning against a wall and staring at the group of ninjas. When Naruto saw him looking, she avoided his gaze as he looked away. "We have got all the rookies here, don't you think?" Naruto's eyes flicked open. "Clearly. As a newcomer, do you think your self-assurance is adequate given the fact that many of us seem to be overconfident? Are we all in the same frame?" Kiba inquired. The young man, donning the hidden leaf forehead protector, nodded off. "Why are you trying to harm us?" Ino inquired. "I'm not attempting to humiliate you. I wanted to share some information about this exam with novices. I am proficient in it, just like anyone else." Sasuke inquired, "How does that happen?" and walked towards the inexperienced soldiers. "I've taken the Chunin exams a few times before and now I can report back. I am of the opinion that this is my 7th assessment. Can you tell me where my manners are? I'm Kabuto Yakushi, available for assistance." Despite his failures, Kabuto was still full of confidence. "How?" A cursory scan of his sensor showed that Kabuto was squeezing away much of the chakra that Sasuke had no real reserve and started approaching nearer to his heart. Naruto inquired, "What kind of information will you impart to us?" Kabuto smiled and said, "Glad you asked." He inserted orange envelopes with a green border. "I have these ninja info cards. By using my chakra, I can provide insights on almost everyone in this location, although my information may be different. To begin with, let me clarify who you are." He drew attention to Naruto. The card was activated by his chakra when he applied it, revealing various messages. Naruto observed a sealing array emerge swiftly, before gradually withdrawing into the paper. The card indicates that Naruto completed his studies and passed out 3 months ago, Kabuto explained. It's evident that he has only average proficiency in taijutsu. Although he is proficient in Shadow Clone Jutsu, a B-rank ninjutsu technique, his proficiency level is slightly lower. Genjutsu is a sport that he excels in, and even makes it difficult to train. The 5th Mizukage, Meitarumi, saw him temporarily land a Genjutsu. Despite the absence of Sasuke, Sakura, and Shikamaru, Kabuto took a moment to relish the unexpected looks on the faces of the rookies. Mei's transformation into Mizukage in a short time frame was the most significant aspect of the revelation. He's also a sensor type, Kabuto declared. Naruto's accomplishment of 40 D-rank missions and 1 SR rank mission, which is a significant feat for someone his age, is noteworthy. His actions during the mission led to his inclusion in the Hidden Cloud Village's bingo book, posing as the Blade of Illusion. Sasuke Uchiha, the final Uchiha to be linked to the Hidden Leaf Village, and Sakura Haruno are both included in his team. Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja, is in charge of leading his team. Are you confident that your cards are not in any way corrupted? Kiba inquired. These cards are always in my possession, and I make an effort to keep them up to date. While Hinata was observing the cards, he had an idea. I heard a rumor that shinobi from the village hidden in the clouds are gathering here. Yes, they are, Hinata declared for the first time, his head shivering. Kabuto smiled and asked if anyone else had any questions, responding with a disarming, "No, not me. Experience, don't overlook it. The Hidden Leaf and Hidden Cloud villages haven't been good neighbors, so the arrival of Hidden Cloud shinobi in this area must be significant. Is it advisable to be knowledgeable about the competition, right?" Shikamaru asked, looking at the cards with suspicion. According to Kabuto, it is important to keep an eye out for all of them. Shikamaru sighed. They're not the kind of shinobi who take things lightly, and since they've been sent to negotiate an alliance with the Hidden Leaf village, they won't be able to do as much damage to their Raikage's reputation. Kabuto looked at the clock. With 10 minutes left until the exam is scheduled to begin. It's a lot of teams here, you know. I advise you to remain united if you're concerned about the risk of failure. It's impossible to predict who will be the next target for a group of rookies, especially one with an unsealed Byakugan. Kiba inquired, "What's that?" Kabuto's card display was met with a grimace as he put his cards away. "No, sorry, that's not what I was told. Seems like I rambled on too much. Keep your eyes open." Kabuto left with a beaming smile, satisfied with his accomplishments. "Hinata, don't worry about that Kabuto guy," Kiba told his teammate after he had tried to fold herself into her arms. "Kiba's perspective is correct," Shino remarked, echoing his own sentiments. "Why do I say that?" "Because we are here to protect you from anyone who wants to hurt you." Kiba and Shino, "Thank you," Hinata nodded and thanked the two men. Naruto looked at Hinata briefly, but turned his back to her after seeing her face turn red. "Why does she get so creeped out when I even look at her?" "Naruto, what is it?" He shook his head and turned to face the front of the room. He started to use his sensor to explore high or unique chakra signatures, somewhat relieved that Kabuto could redirect focus away from him and onto Hinata. His first chakra signature was almost identical to his outer chakra in that it had the same density and feel, and it was nearly as large as his left. A girl with gleaming red hair and beard was the one in possession of it, sporting a forehead protector featuring the Hidden Grass Village emblem. A big smile spread across his face. Right in front of him, there was another Uzumaki. His desire to locate her and acknowledge their shared family prompted him to remember his involvement in the Chunin exams. From that perspective, the Uzumaki girl was an adversary. A certain skepticism within him suggested that the fact that she had red hair and similar chakras may be just a coincidence. He shook his head and persisted in exploring the group, ultimately choosing a chakra that was somewhat recognizable, but completely distinct. He felt like his willpower was being sapped away from him due to the overwhelming pressure it brought. Its chakra was a hellraiser, filled with bloodlust and colored golden brown, and it was nearly as large as his. The chakra in question was not the same as the nine-tailed fox's, as there was a distinct and perilous source beneath it. The chakra was possessed by a boy who had auburn red hair and black eyes with rings. He had a gourd on his back. Among the team members he was standing were two boys who wore black bodysuits with covered construction and another blonde girl, on her back, with an iron fan around her neck as she puts the Hidden Sands forehead protector over her head. They seemed frightened to even attempt to be with him. He sought to avoid the chakra of the redhead boy by locating the closest chakra source and was almost overwhelmed by it. Despite being suppressed, the person's chakra reserves were still substantial. Naruto speculated that if someone were to release him or herself, their chakra reserves would surpass his or her own. But Naruto was more surprised when he saw that the person had another chakra beneath them. Like the Nine Tails, it was a fiery and perilous flame that appeared to be cool regardless of its blue appearance. A young girl with blonde hair and a low, spiky ponytail had the chakra. A black shirt, black pants, and a red belt were worn by her, along with the hidden cloud forehead protector. The team of the girl was not as ostentatious as their male and female counterparts. The girl looked at Naruto and gave him a smile, which was returned by the actor. Naruto noticed a new chakra in the vicinity and diverted his gaze from the second Jinchuriki he experienced within minutes to nebulous sources. It was calming, apapping, alluring and irresistible. Naruto's sensor tunneled into the chakra, causing him to exit his sensor world. A girl with dark skin and blonde hair had a chakra that was present. She wore an outfit similar to the Jinchuriki's, but when Naruto examined her closely, her outfit revealed skin in some spots, and she had the hidden cloud forehead protector tied around her neck. The girls who possessed the attractive chakra's associates had relatively unremarkable chakra reserves in contrast to others. A girl with dark hair, red hair and golden earrings was the first to arrive, dressed in a dark green dress with fishnet stockings and black high boots. This girl didn't have her chakra reserves like the Uzumaki girl, but there were some similarities in their physical characteristics. Her teammate, a boy with dark hair and white hair, was in dispute with her. He was dressed in hooded green shirt and dark gray shorts. He was armed with a sword, just like his teammate. Naruto looked around and connected with a dominant chakra that was being blocked, such as Kabuto and the hidden cloud Jinchuriki. He was on the verge of experiencing a sensor crash, which was becoming more frequent. It was akin to the hidden San Jinchuriki's chakra, but it wasn't intending to spill over and destroy anything in its vicinity. The chakra was a polished and graceful organ, resembling the snake's chakra, wrapped and poised to strike. Naruto was aware that surviving the attack would require only the best of intentions. It was so eerie and menacing that Naruto felt like his life was in danger if he tried to face it. The chakra that Naruto examined by opening his eyes was attributed to an ordinary woman wearing green clothing, a bamboo hat, and the hidden grass forehead protector. In order to survive, he made a conscious decision to keep his distance from that girl during the exam. I'm unsure of what's going on with me. What did Naruto think? The hidden cloud Jinchuriki and the hidden grass menace were among the 5 or so individuals who had potential chakra equivalents, with 2 potentially greater ones than him. Naruto's fear was evident for the first time during this exam. Naruto, you slipped off the radar for a bit, Shikamaru stated. Naruto shook his hands and asked, "Are you okay?" "I'll be fine." He heard a sound of smoke rising from the front of the room and was not prepared to defend himself due to his ninja training. "Get your silence!" The voice screamed out. A tall, scarred man was wearing a hidden leaf forehead protector and his intelligence uniform, gray long-sleeved shirt, matching pants, under. Behind him, there were different ninjas wearing the same intelligence uniform. "Ibiki Marino is your examiner, in my capacity. The Chunin selection exams have been officially started." He was presented with a written paper, which was the first part of the Chunin exams. The main goal was to provide answers to the 9 questions in the test before the end of the hour, and the 10th question would be provided a few minutes before completion. Despite starting the competition with an ideal score, participants would lose points for every incorrect answer. If they were found to be cheating, they would receive a 2-point punishment. If a team member was caught 5 times or had no points, the team would be doomed. Theoretically, it would be a straightforward examination. Naruto discovered that the exam was brimming with challenging questions that were beyond his ability to handle, which undoubtedly raised concerns. It was different from the exams at the academy, where he struggled with studying and failing. He had a greater understanding of things 3 months ago, but his aptitude for theory is not very strong. Through his sensor, Naruto monitored a range of people and observed how they managed their emotions. The exam officials, who were wearing intelligence uniform, caught some of the individuals who had panicked and attempted to cheat. certain people attempted to provide answers to the inquiries. The woman with the highly menacing chakra from hidden grass completed the test in record time without any indication of cheating. Despite the grayish color of the paper, he was still able to read it using his sensor. He attempted to emulate her as much as he could, but was unable to resist the nauseating and disgusting sensations that came from even sensing her chakra. With no other option but to be caught, his limited comprehension of what he was writing left him with only one expectation, that the hidden grass cunopopia was right in his heart. Failure to pass the exam would mean he had to wait for at least 6 months before being given another opportunity. He had no desire for that. After copying the grass kunoichi's work, Naruto dropped his pen and breathed a deep relief. He was oblivious to the fact that he was sweating due to extreme exertion, and unable to detect his hands shaking. Despite having only touched the grass kunoichi's chakra for a brief moment, the temperature in the room felt like it had dropped off. Naruto opted to take it upon himself to calm down and focus on his own thoughts. He had approximately 40 minutes left before he had to answer the 10th question. Naruto woke up to find that various teams were being kicked out of the room after falling asleep. The teams included those from Hidden Cloud, Hidden Rain, and Hidden Moon, as well as those named Hideaway and Hunter Waver. The exam officials who fulfilled their duties looked extremely proud. Ibiki stated that it was time to initiate the 10th question, and without having experienced Meiterumi's death and being awakened by his menacing voice and sharp glower, his fearsome tone would have been terrifying. The guidelines are uncomplicated to comprehend. If you opt to answer the question and do not pass, you will never be able to take the Chunin exam again. If you refuse to answer the question and resign, your entire team will suffer the consequences. Before the room could explode with anger, Ibiki halted their conversation. I am not open to receiving answers. Make a decision now. As Naruto remained, the ninjas rose from their positions, left, and quit, one after the other. He sensed Sakura's struggle to come to terms with raising her hand, but eventually, she put her arm on the desk and a determined look appeared across her face. Good job, Sakura. He was apprehensive, even to the best of my knowledge. What would happen if he accepted the question and failed to progress, leading to him never being promoted to Chunin, and never leaving his team behind? His desire was for respect, but he also desired something more. He was aware that he wouldn't be able to earn it by staying as a genin. Despite his ability to earn that honor, he was not going to quit. Until now, never again. Following an excruciating period, Ibiki raised his eyebrows and smirked in frustration. To the remaining genus, I must first offer my congratulations. You pass on. Naruto's relief was palpable as he sighed. He expired. He had come close to achieving the status of a Chunin. His teammates were still involved, so he didn't have to worry about them quitting in any way. Naruto inquired, wondering what the point of all the other questions if it was only the last one. The purpose of the remaining questions was to assess your aptitude for obtaining knowledge. In the event that you were given a mission but there were some details that went unspecified or misrepresented it. If a mission fails, Chunin are expected to remain composed and adjust their approach while acknowledging their team's contributions. The initial part of the assessment was intended to make you adjust to the test's conditions and discover a solution. The passing mark was determined by your ability to do it well, and the failure of your attempt to achieve it if you did it incorrectly. The most crucial aspect of the test was aimed at assessing your self-discipline, which is also why you should do it. After removing his bandana, Ibiki displayed shocking scars, gashes and scabbed wounds. He sported a smile, as if he was enjoying every single one of the responses awaiting him. Hidden Sanjinshiriki had a slightly excited appearance, while the Hidden Cloud Jutsuki and Hidden Grass Kunoichi both appeared to be vaguely interested and somewhat amused. Naruto was frightened by Ibiki's scars. To ensure the survival of your village, Ibiki stressed the importance of putting one's physical and mental health at risk by dedicating himself to this task. If you're not taking the risk of answering the question and putting your own and your colleagues' promotion at risk, then you shouldn't have proceeded further in this exam. If you were able to, you could possess the necessary qualities to become Chunin for your individual villages. He returned with his bandana. A black banner appeared in front of the room as the glass from the nearby window detonated. A few kunai were used to attach the banner to the blackboard. Ibiki, the new employee, asked in an upright position, "Are you on time?" Her facial features were purple, orange skirt, ninja mesh shirt and beige trench coat. She also had the hidden leaf forehead protector tied over her head. "Enko, you don't," Ibiki replied with a resignation. She surveyed the group of remaining janitors and let out a whistle. Ibiki's performance is impressive. You've lost a lot of greenhorns, right? Well, I assure you, half of you won't make it to the third stage. If you can see my banner behind me, you'll know my name and role in this exam. As per Naruto's instructions, you must immediately go to Training Ground 44 after completing that. Enko Mitarashi, the second candidate for Chunin selection exams, was featured on the banner. After Naruto and the other genin exited the room, Enko turned to Ibiki. How many hidden cloud teams still exist out of the 10 that started, with 4 still in existence? Enko took it to be just as pertinent, saying, "Good. A second phase may lead to the elimination of 2 more teams. Provided that everything goes according to plan, there won't be a team from the Cloud Village that can help rescue the Hyuga clan heiress and claim the Byakugan." Continuations? Ibiki inquired. "I will be observing the exam from the observation deck, and I have hand-selected trackers that are being used to communicate with Hinata. If a cloud team attempts to attack her outside the exam, they will be sent packing. It's time to start working. Ibiki, have a good day." Enko vanished into the night, leaving behind a cloud of smoke. Shortly after, Naruto and the other aspiring Chunin reached Training Ground 44. A chain-link fence covered the vast expanse of forest that enclosed the training ground. Numerous warning signs were slapped on it. Her appearance on the platform was not as restrained as Enko's initial one. The second Chunin exams are held here, in the Forest of Death. You have a 3-day window to reach the tower in the middle of the forest, which is located 10 kilometers away from all 44 entrances to the training ground. As it is a survival test, you'll need to find food in the forest. There's a diverse range of wildlife for you to explore and catch if you're hungry. It is necessary to ensure that all members of your team reach the tower without delay. If your team member is unable to continue or dies, you are considered exempt from the game. The syllable "die" is repeated with the word "go." Enko expressed his doubts, saying, "What did you think this was going to be, a walk in the park? I'll grant you a waiver of any liability that may arise from your death, freeing me from the burden. It goes without saying that if you quit right now, your entire team will be lost." A portion of the ejaculate was swallowed. The exam official will hand you a scroll. Holding on to that scroll is necessary to unlock the opposing one. If you possess a Yin scroll, you must take Shaoqi, Yen scroll, which is available in another team. If you attack a team that has the same scroll as you, you will be disqualified immediately. One of the hidden cloud genin asked, "What for?" Enko aimed to instruct individuals on how to maintain their concentration on their mission objective. Prior to entering the tower, if you choose to open your scroll, you will be disqualified for violating our mission integrity standards. If you fail to complete your objective, you will not pass the exam, as Chunin cannot afford to lose their missions. That's not too difficult, ahem, Kiba asserted. A kunai was thrown and his cheek was cut off, leaving Enko standing behind him while another kangaroo looked at him. "Kids like you're so tough," Enko yelled, licking the blood from Kiba's shallow wound. The most significant reality checks are conducted on individuals who are known for their tough and firm demeanor. "With your kunai in hand, you dropped it," said the hidden grass kunoichi, who then appeared behind Enko. Enko responded with a half-hearted "thank you," but still accepted the offered kunai. Kiba mused, do you sense that I smell, snake? Enko remained shaken, her kunai gripping tight. Switch off. Naruto yelled. The hidden grass kunoichi was no longer visible after the chakra was revealed, as it had been reported. Say what you will about it, I don't care. Enko gazed at Naruto and kissed Kiba's lips as he shrugged and let go of his feelings. You're already feeling a bit crazy, right? Because we haven't even started the test yet. She shouted, bring on the light. Make sure you and your team members bring a combination of Yin and Yang scrolls to the tower within 72 hours, as per their instructions. She awaited for someone to speak to her. The chance was not accepted by anyone. If there are no more inquiries, we can initiate the process as soon as possible. After signing their waivers, Team 7 entered the Forest of Death and obtained a Yang scroll. While traversing the forest, Naruto relied on his sensor to steer clear of attacks. Hearing Enko's words just before they started their exam left Naruto wishing to finish the test as soon as possible. On the third day, I'll be releasing an extra. There is a challenge that you have to overcome for your genitalia. I hope that it is enjoyable. While Naruto was signing his waiver, Hinata approached him. Hinata, spelt. Naruto inquired of your request. All I have to do is say something, she said. I'm not sure what to make of it. I send you my best wishes. Good luck. With a radiant pink hue, Hinata was about to take the Chunin exams. Naruto expressed his appreciation by saying, thank you. We wish you well, please. Hinata wished her good luck before quickly running away. However, she ceased following the introduction of Tenten's teammate, the brown-haired Hyuga. Niji muttered, what are you up to? You have to be persistent, Lady Hinata. Naruto unintentionally noticed that Niji was struggling to maintain a balanced perspective. To receive Hidden Cloud Shinobi, all you need is to pulse your chakra and trust that I will be there for you as soon as possible. Thank you, Cookie Monkey. Your father has instructed me to shield you from those shinobi. There is nothing else to say. I am aware of the fact that. Comprehend. Niji nodded and returned to his teammates. Naruto assumed that Niji was being unnecessarily rude, but he eventually realized that it wasn't his responsibility to act in this way. The primary concern for Naruto was ensuring that he and his colleagues passed the Chunin exam's third phase. Naruto, Sakura declared, drawing his attention. Naruto inquired, what led to your blurry vision earlier? There's a kind of ninja that we shouldn't get near. Like the kunoichi that provided the proctor with her kunai. The news about her is disheartening. A redhead with a gourd on his back and stranded blonde hidden cloud kunoichi, wearing striped red sash. Sasuke inquired if you were certain. Naruto inquired, do you have any idea how I can detect chakra? Sasuke and Sakura nodded off. The child with the gourd had a higher than Kakashi-sensei's chakra reserves, while the other two were suppressing their own. Despite the passage of time, their reserves remained substantial. In addition to that, the three individuals screamed out in jest. Enko was informed about the hidden grass ninja's malevolent nature by him, and angrily asked for mercy. If the grass kunoichi's behavior was suspicious, she would be disqualified and arrested immediately. We steer clear of the three ninja and aim to identify enemy kung fu who possess lesser scrolls, as Sasuke explained. He uttered a silent prayer. Really sounds like a plot. After the darkness fell, Team 7 opted to camp in a nearby cave after being unsuccessful in finding any individuals with Yin scrolls. Sakura cleared the area and allowed Sasuke to start a small fire, having made sure that nobody was in the vicinity of them when they were ambushed. I'll hold on to the Yang scroll, Sakura declared. Naruto inquired, what is the reason behind it? Sasuke has his Sharingan, and you can use your chakra sensor to identify yourself, Sakura stated. The scroll will be kept by me, and I will keep it within a second sealing scroll. Naruto and Sasuke nodded in agreement, indicating their familiarity with the character. Good news. It's important to confirm that. Naruto, do you already have an understanding of your chakra natures? He answered positively by adjusting his sensor focus from determining the size and feel of his chakras to detecting different types of energy within himself. He had a single affinity at that point, but it was satisfactory. You're on Earth, but Sasuke's fire is on the other side. Sakura's expression was one of pure happiness. Let's take a break, I'll pick up the first watch. Sasuke and Sakura's alcove visit led Naruto to create a shadow clone character. I advise you to remain attentive. If your shadow clone scatters, it means that there's an adversary out there. Sasuke and Sakura nodded in agreement. Naruto discovered a chakra source at the edges of his sensor, which was not in his range, after approximately 30 minutes. He created a shadow clone again and had it assist his fellow shadow clan in protecting them, while he went to investigate the chakra's origin. He immediately sprang into action, jumping from branch to branch and eventually falling down after about 30 seconds of travel, landing near a river. He identified the chakra's origin at a distance of roughly 20 meters from his current location. The object was that of the girl with red hair who could have been a Uzumaki. With her glasses missing, she was running and clutching her shoulder, which was oozing blood. A colossal yellow tiger with black stripes and white belly was trailing her. Naruto created a shadow clone to save the girl from danger before it could do so. Naruto strode through hand seals and launched a Genjutsu at the tiger to deter it while the girl was being saved. After landing, Naruto proceeded to pass through another set of hand seals, creating a new illusion that would end up killing the tiger. Despite the challenges, the tiger persisted in its attack and managed to remove Naruto's clone with its paw before reaching the girl, who was then knocked over. The tiger was tackled by 5 of Naruto's clones before it could be killed. It was about to rise again to continue its hunt, but the Genjutsu carried on. The tiger's legs were closed and its eyes appeared glazed over, as it fell to the ground in an unconscious heap. Naruto inspected the tiger to ensure it wasn't playing imaginary. He was compelled to approach the girl because it wasn't feasible. Naruto asked, "Are you alright?" The girl's eyes were wide open in fear, asking the question, "What are you up to? What's your reason for being here? I saw the tiger attack and I couldn't leave you there." The girl's shoulder was so badly cut that Naruto couldn't help but roll his eyes, making him look angry. "How are you doing?" The girl blinked before reaching for her glasses and placing them on. "I'm in the same boat as you." She swung her head in one hand and then quickly disappeared. "Thanks to your help, I'm feeling better." While observing the scroll, Naruto noticed it was in front of the girl and realized that it had been a young scroll. "Shadow clones, I'll bring you back to your teammates." She shivered and said, "No thanks. I can regain my confidence and make things right again." According to Naruto, "Oh, that's great, you should be congratulated." He rubbed the back of his neck. During such a time, what was his intended message? He had no experience in conversing with ninja who were suffering from severe injuries. "Why are you so kind? Why did you rescue me? We're enemies, right? I don't know. I am joking to myself. I experienced a sensation near your chakra, which made me feel very close to you." The girl maintained eye contact with him. "You're not alone in your sentiment. Did you experience a chakra?" "Yeah, absolutely." The girl reached for her scroll, retrieved it, and placed it in her pocket. Naruto extended a hand to assist. Naruto smiled and assured the girl that he wasn't looking for help, blinking and holding his hand once more. She grudgingly accepted the trick and stood up slowly, keeping her shoulder in place with her free hand. What is the explanation for this statement? I give my thanks in earnest. My apologies for taking the time to speak with you. I'm accustomed to doing things on my own without any guidance. Naruto's understanding was fully realized as he smiled. It's not a problem at all. Who is Naruto? Naruto Uzumaki, or simply Naruto, as in, I am? I'm curious, what's your name? Karen? She blinked uncontrollably, scanning his eyes and seeing his hair and the whiskers on his cheeks. Are you an Uzumaki? I always knew that, but I was never an orphan. I recently started to question whether my name was a random occurrence or if I belonged to kin. She mentioned that you belong to a clan, she said. Naruto's expression was one of happiness, as he smiled. Are you right? Karen nodded. Once again, she clung to her shoulder and frowned. I caught a glimpse of you earlier, and I felt your chakra. Her expression brought a smile to her face. It was akin to my own experience. If you can feel my chakra, what does that mean? Karen's smile lit up as she wiped her tears from her cheek. As a Uzumaki, I also belong to that category. Naruto inquired, do you believe it? Karen admonished him by saying, of course, and looked at him. He'd messed up, man. That's amazing. Naruto exclaimed. Suck with it, why this one? He exclaimed at Karen's feet. Carrie, I'm sorry, but I have to leave. I had a good time catching up with you. With a beaming smile on her face, Karen watched Naruto leave. She had no intention of harming herself by washing her face in the river and drinking some water. She genuinely believed that she would die in an unnatural manner when the tiger attacked her. She never thought that anyone would rescue her. Particularly a relative of hers. She had a family member who was selfless, strong, benevolent, supportive, and full of determination. Naruto shifted his focus towards his teammates and recognized the chakra that cast the jutsu when he approached it. The feeling of euphoria Naruto felt when he met Karen, one of his relatives, was violently challenged by the gasps in his stomach. A massive snake with brown scales was coiled around the tree where Naruto was going to land, opening it up to devour him. Using his sensor, he observed a chakra-like aura surrounding the snake that had the same signature as the hidden grass kunoichi. After touching the tree branch, Naruto leapt above it and avoided being eaten as the snake gnawed on his jaws. He landed on the branch above, using the power of chakra to stop the fall. The snake biting a piece of tree branch caused him to grimace, but he persisted. He created 3 clones and directed them to move in different directions. To implement his plan, he would use kunai, shuriken and other ninja tools to distract the snake, but the clones would also create as many illusions on the serpent. The snake kept moving, but it was aiming for the clones instead of Naruto, and some of his ninja tools bounced off the snake's skin. Having experienced the sensation of 2 clones being consumed or swiftly eliminated, Naruto concentrated on creating a formidable illusion on the snake. He made the snake's natural predator believe that it was being attacked by hawks, ravens and other birds of prey by using his hand-seal combination. While writhing and squirting, the snake became frozen in place when Naruto used a paralysis genjutsu to stop it from moving. Naruto quickly nodded off as he ran back to his teammates. Despite being uncertain about the amount of time that had passed since he left his teammates, Naruto felt like a lot of him had been missing. He was aware that unless a miracle occurred, they would likely meet their end, but there was something holding him back from just running away and salvaging himself. Having faced the most formidable opponents before him, he could only hope for his survival and ensure the well-being of his teammates. He concealed his gaze as the hidden grass kunoichi approached Sasuke, with the intention of killing him. Sakura halted her attack by standing between Sasuke and the kunoichi, with both hands clasped by kunai. Sakura yelled, Sasuke! Get your head together! This kunoichi exclaimed, if we can't defend ourselves against this monster, we'll die. Sasuke comprehends the ineffectiveness of engaging in a battle with someone he cannot beat, which is not an easy feat to achieve. But you don't get it. Is it not obvious that you are out of the woods today, she quipped, before Sakura bluffing under her breath and using her kunai to attack their arm. Before Sakura could even get close, the kunoichi's left leg was kicked out of the way in a crushing roundhouse kick. Despite being sent flying, Sakura was able to recover and land on the tree trunk closest to her, almost breaking the bark. Sasuke was truly taken aback by the extent to which Sakura was prepared to defend him. He continued to tremble, and as the kunoichi approached him, he stood still. He reflected on his older sibling Itachi. During that time, he felt feeble and ineffective. He felt the same way now, having to depend on Sakura, who was weaker than him but still trying her to protect him. He didn't want to be weak. He didn't want to be protected by anyone other than himself. It wasn't possible for him to die in this place. It was necessary for him to live long enough to kill his brother. He sprang up, and his Sharingan burst into motion, revealing 2 tomo in each eye. The kunoichi stated, "Yes, the legendary Sharingan." She evaded Sasuke's high kick by skipping it and starting to engage in intense combat with the final Uchiha fighter. Sasuke poured his entire heart and soul into each and every attack, not taking any measure of the situation. Sakura was seen by Naruto fighting alongside him, and he helped Sasuke by throwing kunai or shuriken at him. Lucky for her, she caught the kunoichi off guard by blowing up a kunai that had an exploding tag. Afterward, she turned into mud and reappeared behind Sakura with gracefulness, cutting off her back neck and then kicking her off the tree trunk. Naruto reacted by having a clone come to her rescue before she fell to the forest floor. Afterward, he waited for an opportunity to deliver a decisive blow to the kunoichi. He sensed Sasuke's chakra inclination and observed a massive fireball moving towards the kunoichi, trapping her in the flames and burning her to ash. Naruto discovered that her chakra remained in existence. Excellent job. Naruto observed that her voice had a more masculine tone as she emerged from the forest. A pale face with gleaming yellow eyes, and a forehead protector with an inked musical note on the center of its center, were revealed by the ninja, who removed the burnt skin from their face. You have made great progress with your use of the advanced fire style technique, Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto used hand seals to pierce the man and then launched a genjutsu into his body. Upon sensing its connection, he made his move. The man was attacked by 10 clones, and Naruto appeared alongside Sasuke. Sasuke, let Sakura lead you out of this world. My chakras are still strong, so I'm ready to confront him. Go. It's too late. Naruto exclaimed. Sasuke gritted his teeth and moved to a more suitable spot to offer assistance in case of an emergency. All of his clones were crushed by the man, which would require him to do it. The man spoke in a cold, yet whispered voice, I was curious to know when you were going to take your next step, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto's body trembled with fear. I swarmed a snake to end your life, or at the very least divert your attention while handling Sasuke and your other teammate. The man's laughter caused Naruto to feel uneasy as he confirmed that you had lived up to your reputation. Naruto asked, Are you Orochimaru, with a raspy smile, as he recognized the legendary shinobi from Hidden Leaf Village, a history. Smirking, Orochimaru retorted, You're guilty of guilt. According to Naruto Uzumaki, what are your options? Your genjutsu was unsuccessful, and it's only a matter of time before you die. Orochimaru was simply playing games with them. He effortlessly dispatched his clones and vanquished his own genjutsu with force. Naruto, you can endure and live to tell the tale. Simply exit and I guarantee that I won't cause any harm to you or the girl. Naruto witnessed Orochimaru's throat slipping out of his body as he was driven to safety by his desire to kill. He was attacked by images of his impending death, which were hauntingly grim and nightmarish. Interestingly, he was not as scared of the other S-rank ninjas that posed a threat to him. The presence of Kakashi, who was the one who fought may have contributed to it. At that time, he was solely responsible for playing the role of a deceiver. The fact that Orochimaru was able to defeat Sasuke with ease and sustain only minor injuries made Naruto reconsider whether to allow him to achieve his goals in the present circumstances. It was the uncomplicated escape. Orochimaru compelled him to want to die. Nevertheless, he never followed the uncomplicated route. He had a difficult life. He had to fight against his lack of talent, his terrible life, and his crippling self-doubt, which resurfaced as if he had been released into the unknown. He had moments like these where he felt unworthy of anything, and the weight of his failures began to weigh on him, leading him to question his own existence. Nevertheless, he would find a way out of this, as if it were his destiny. He was a survivor who could endure the toughest circumstances and emerge victorious. Orochimaru questioned whether he was going to stand still. Naruto's eyes changed color from bright blue to blood red, and a black vertical slit cut off his iris. He had whiskers that darkened, his dogs became sharper, and his fingernails grew into claws. Naruto was engulfed by an orange-red chakra that protruded upwards and resembled a high-altitude fox's head. "You seem to have some fighting left in you," Orochimaru mused. "It's not relevant. You are just a starting point for me to become the ultimate shinobi. You are my little worm and I will crush you under my foot." The chakra flow in the nine-tailed fox's system was felt by Naruto, causing him to experience heightened senses. He had prior knowledge that attempting this was only a matter of final choice, and he knew it was the right one. He was aware that he fell into this state involuntarily when rage became overwhelming, and subsequently, his anger began to affect his judgment. He required an additional surge of power to compete with Orochimaru. Orochimaru was able to nullify his clones, regardless of his speed. He sent a chakra shockwave through his chest and felt his heart rate skyrocketing as he defended himself from Orochimaru's corrupted, caustic chakra. Naruto was able to use the shockwave effectively, giving him an opportunity to surprise his opponent. After blurring, he emerged from his hiding place and returned to Orochimaru's area, where a sickening squelching kick punched him in the face. A wild smile filled his face as he relinquished his right fist and extended his left arm, the act repeated several times. After being slammed by Naruto, Orochimaru bent over his head to the left and avoided their attack. He then proceeded to use a knife to strike Naruki's ribs with both hands within seconds. Naruto reacted by moving forward and evading, hitting Orochimaru with a devastating kick in the knee. But that was not the case when Orochimaru jumped and spun in midair, twisting his shin to smash Naruto's skull. Despite Naruto's smile, his gaze remained undisturbed as he charged towards the tree trunk and threw Orochimaru in the direction of the fallen object. To prevent Orochimaru from escaping, Naruto created a shadow clone who leapt high and began to somersaulting before him, stretching his leg in an effort to drive him into the snake Sannin's stomach. With both fists thrust upwards, Naruto's clone grappled with Orochimaru before hitting him into the ground. Orochimaru was suddenly drenched in mud and Naruto landed on a thick tree branch, using his sensor, which had become stronger with the Nine Tails chakra, to determine his whereabouts. He had his clone encounter Orochimaru's growth from a branch while he was making kerosene. Naruto cursed himself for wasting his time when the Genjutsu failed to use the Nine Tails chakra due to its tendency to be used instead. He then gritted his teeth and felt his clone's memories billow as they entered his brain. Naruto used his fingernails to create a path of blood and gore into the flesh as he barreled through the snakes, with one end sticking out and the other ending up strung around his neck. He seized the two snakes left and pulled Orochimaru towards him, inflicting a broken bone and shattering his face. Once more, Naruto's face was made up of mud and Orochimaru turned into a muddy mess. Despite being faster, stronger, and more aware of his surroundings, he was unable to use a broad attack to eliminate Orochimaru or his clones. He would waste his energy destroying Orochimaru's earth clones if he didn't have the true form of him. From a few meters behind him, Orochimaru stated that the nine-tailed fox's strength made him much more dangerous. He still had that incensed grin. Naruto slammed his kick into Orochimaru's sternum, do you realize that your attacks are ineffective? He reacted by hitting Orochimaru as much as he could after catching him with his foot in a frantic attack. Naruto's blood-curious rage was such that he shouted, "Just die." He saw Orochimaru's chakra trailing behind him and utilized the rapidly decaying earth clone as a springboard, spinning in the air and attempting to cut him into ribbons. "This is such a stupid call from Orochimaru," the voiceless warrior told him, and he crept back to his sword, which illuminated bright blue before striking Naruto's chest with it. Naruto's blood spraying on him was so satisfying to him. Naruto stumbled down and grasped his chest, sensing the wound's gradual closing as the Nine-Tails chakra formed around him. He ignored the flare and hid the pain as his unclothed body collided with the cool night air. The regenerative power of the Uzumaki working with the tailed beast chakra. The phenomenon was intriguing, as Orochimaru observed, with the speaker speaking in a way that resembled documenting an experiment rather than engaging in combat. He drew his sword and saw the seal on Naruto's stomach, which had been exposed after he cut through his jacket and shirt. Naruto reverted to his seat of protest. "Despite your efforts to save Sasuke, you remain indifferent and don't know his true identity." Naruto revealed that Sasuke would seek power to achieve his objectives and will approach him. He created 10 shadow clones that were wrapped in the Nine-Tails chakra shroud, warning them to shut it down. Orochimaru twisted and contorted in response to the clone's attacks, but one retaliated by cutting his leg open. His chest was hit by a second clone. All of Naruto's clones were destroyed by Orochimaru and his legendary Kusanagi sword. Orochimaru used his hilt to kick Naruto off the tree branch after striking him in the stomach with the blade. He fell down, but a new Naruto clone appeared unexpectedly and tackled him, driving him to the tree branch and almost breaking his back. However, Orochimaru slithered around the clone and then wrapped his limbs around it. He squirmed and eliminated the clone before he could grasp the branch. With his prehensile tongue by his ankle, he landed with his feet and proceeded to grab the real Naruto. "Despite your newfound strength, you have been unable to conquer me." Naruto was brought to the attention of Orochimaru by him. Despite his unsuccessful attempt to free himself from his bonds, he broke into Naruto's shirt and exposed the seal that held off the nine-tailed fox. "If you don't possess this power, you will be rendered impotent." The glow emanated from every finger, which was purple. "It seems like you were unable to protect Sasuke from me." The life of a ninja is filled with uncertainty and loss. He pushed Naruto's stomach with his fingers. "Shortly, we've been through a period of time." Naruto's face with a twist, his triumphant smile spreading widely. "Orochimaru, I'm sorry, you didn't get what you wanted, right?" He vanished into the distance, amidst thick smoke. Naruto recollected the final moments leading up to his shadow clone being caught by Orochimaru. Naruto's power was waning as it fell apart. The nine-tailed fox was experiencing excruciating pain and a loss of energy due to the burning sensation felt by his chakra. He sensed Orochimaru coming up against him and hoped that the clone he made while his homicidal associates were attacking could divert his attention. He demonstrated his hand-seal speed and was overjoyed as he flashed them. After completing the hand-seal combination, he replaced it with the clone that protected Sakura. Sakura's agony and lack of knowledge about his survival led Naruto to hope that he would wake up in time. After the memories of his shadow clone reappeared, he gave a feeble smile. "I was unable to rescue Sasuke. Despite everything, I managed to stay alive." Naruto's eyes were shut when he finished reading. Upon opening them, he experienced a feeling of coldness. The water was squishing over him, and he took a seat. The torch's dim light in the corner illuminated the corridor in a dull yellow hue. He said, "Where is my place? Is it a sewer?" Even though the water had spread throughout his clothes, he didn't feel wet. "I had the impression that I was amidst the chaos of the forest of death. What was the reason for my arrival?" He pushed his sensor out, but it didn't work. Naruto's signature ability was not functioning properly, leaving him stunned and unable to function. Naruto observed a single pipe in the sewer-like corridor, with water streaming from the right side and causing rot on the left side. Due to the brighter light at the end of the corridor, Naruto walked towards it. Naruto was left in darkness as the light grew too bright, leading him to cover his eyes, but the glare dissipated and he fell into darkness after pulling his hand back on himself. Naruto's eyes were illuminated by a faint, but reddish hue that provided some clarity. He found himself in front of a gate featuring black bars and showcasing an emblem with the word seal written in the kanji. Two large, blood-red eyes with black vertical slits for pupils lit up the reddish light behind the gate. Naruto's body was left on edge, and he quickly became anxious as the hairs on his scalp began to grow. The presence of anything behind this gate was a force of nature, to say the least. Naruto's power was so overwhelming that it almost collapsed, leaving him unable to sustain himself. The gate's seal erupted and the force of death emanated from the object it held back. A group of sizable, white teeth emerged from behind the barrier and transformed into a fake smile. Naruto became aware of this fact after overcoming his fear and nausea caused by encountering the creature behind the gate. The room was illuminated by a red mist that covered the area around and in front of the creature's eyes and mouth. The creature's shrill voice, "We finally meet," was heard as it burst into flames across the room. With a lack of composure, Naruto observed his clothes moving in time due to the creature's voice. He turned to face the creature and asked, "Where is this me? Do you know? You are within the depths of your seal. A mental realm within your consciousness that allows us to connect with each other. Engage in activities that promote better living conditions." According to Naruto, the creature's words had a deeper meaning that made him wonder as to what was meant. "You're doing a great job," she said. "Yes, you are, the nine-tailed fox. The answer lies in the fact that I am. What motivated you to bring me here?" Naruto inquired, unaware that he could communicate with the nine-tailed fox in the way portrayed. "You chose to come here, without any preconceived notion. The chakra you invoked to confront the snake-like man was so powerful that it overwhelmed you. Your desire for answers led you to come here, hoping to find the answer." The nine tails. Smug tone annoyed Naruto. The villagers' intense hatred towards him caused him to lose his courage. The reason for his treatment as the village's pariah was right in front of him. "You have to blame for my entire life because you're the one who ruined it and made it impossible for me to manage my chakra. You were the reason why I had no friends, and you made everyone in the village turn against me." The nine-tails sarcastically laughed at his actions. "What's the funniest thing about this? I am subject to the same level of animosity towards you as the villagers who blame me for their hatred." Naruto's eyes were left in a state of bewilderment as he stared at the nine tails. He had no fear of any creature trapped in his cage, allowing him to harm him without any worries. "You are unafraid of me, the most dominant creature that has ever inhabited your planet in history." Naruto's expression was, "No one had you sealed inside," and he smiled at him. The nine tails did not make any noise. "If the fourth Hokage could seal you within me, then you're not quite powerful anymore?" The nine tails' grin widened to match Naruto's displeasure. He believed that he had reached the source of his eternal torment there. "What is the price?" "The fourth is now confined to the Shinigami's stomach for all eternity." What was the reason behind his selflessness in sacrificing his life for this needy village? Why did he risk the life of a newborn child without being saved? "It wasn't at all," exclaimed Kakashi, recalling the fourth Hokage's selfless and thoughtful behavior. The reason for Minato Namikaze's sealing of the nine tails was influenced by his village, and he could understand why the fourth would have done so. "I'm still here, what are my last traces of myself? I'll make this village believe that I am not a part of your world. It's a fruitless endeavor." Naruto's inflated form was unjustified. He remembered the individuals who offered him a chance, even though they were aware of his Jinchuriki background. Iruka, Tuchi and Ayam, Kakashi, Takashi, Masane and Kurenai, Shurikamon, are the children of Shikamaru. Especially Kurenai. You're mistaken, though. Some people are familiar with me and give me a chance to flourish. This is the reason why I can persevere and endure. Believe it or not. The wind that swept through Naruto's world in a harmless manner caused him to speed up. The Nine-Tails' smile resurfaced and the wind returned to its normal state just as Naruto thought he had finally put his ordeal behind him. Did you ever practice Genjutsu, or did you really learn how to create illusions with your chakra? Naruto nodded and expressed surprise at how quickly the Nine-Tails transformed subjects. However, it was a welcome change. Yes, of course. I am aware of how you managed to use it. You could concentrate on accessing your own chakra instead of blocking the flow of my chakra. His gaze widened as he asked, "What the hell did you do to me? What led you to attempt to force inject your chakra into my chakra system? The action will snatch my chakra and add it to your own. The advanced nature of my chakra makes it impossible for a human to master." It's true, but your chakra isn't a requirement for learning Genjutsu. It may be true, but take into account this. What would be the outcome if you could manipulate my chakra and blend it with your Genjutsus? You've already utilized my power, right? Yeah, but it didn't work as intended to save Sasuke. The incredible power it possessed was so overwhelming that it was almost impossible to control him, except for the process of splitting it into shadow clones. The amount of chakra that was leaking out of you was just a fraction of the immense power that could be obtained through any means you desired, and it was all within reach. Both boys and girls were left in a state of silence for an extended period. I will facilitate the process of adjusting my chakra. Naruto asked, "What is the reason behind it? Would it be significant if I shared my explanation of why I am providing assistance? If you practice with my chakra, your control will remain the same. You won't be held accountable for your troubles except by yourself." He could use it, as he believed that preventing the Nine-Tails chakra from merging with his would result in less effort and disruption to his chakra control. If he needed to access the Nine-Tails chakra, it would be much easier. Alright, so be it. Naruto stated that he would observe and then abandon his mind. The nine-tailed fox's presence in his life had become unbearable, even if it wasn't as unpleasant as he had anticipated. In any case, he had to acknowledge the truth and return to it. After waking up, Naruto immediately glanced at his torso. He was shirtless and smiled as he witnessed his increased recovery rate, with no visible wounds on his torso. Sakura said softly, "Good morning Naruto," placing a towel on Sasuke's forehead. Naruto asked, "What's the story, and where is Orochimaru now? I'm uncertain of what I can count on. Upon my arrival, I observed you bleeding from a wound that was rapidly healing." High on the treetops, Sasuke was burning and sweating like a fever. Naruto noticed that Sasuke was shirtless and not wearing a shirt. I noticed something unusual at the back of his neck. According to Sakura, there was a mark that looked like 3 tomos. It could be the reason, that's why I think it might be, she said. Sasuke is a person who strives for supremacy. He will approach me. Naruto asked Sakura about her wardrobe. Where do I go now? There it goes, over there. She pointed at the shirts of Naruto and Sasuke, which were tied together by a thread between kunai and bushes. After standing up, Naruto proceeded to climb onto his shirt and jacket, grimacing at the sight of his jacket being completely destroyed. He inserted his torn gray shirt and a sealed scroll into it, then took out the other shirt, grains, and put them on. Naruto returned to the makeshift camp and asked, "Sakura, what occurred before I reached you? Orochimaru came to our aid and eliminated your clones." He mentioned his intention to confront Sasuke and made a move. Even if Sasuke was willing to hand over our scroll, Naruto still asked, "Where is the scroll?" Sakura snapped as she continued to care for Sasuke, saying, "I still have it." I'm not so inexperienced that I'll impede our progress towards the next exam round. She paused to relax. Naruto observed the drowsy expression on her face and the movement of her body from exhaustion to alertness. I was aware of Orochimaru's erroneous status, but I didn't have any knowledge about him at the time. I initiated combat against him, striving to stall his progress and rescue Sasuke from his predicament. It did, I suppose. After grabbing Sasuke, I took the fight to the treetops where we had to confront one of Orochimaru's snake. Despite the circumstances, Sasuke was able to put his best foot forward and assist me in ending it. Naruto's gaze grew wide in amazement. You came after Orochimaru had revealed his intention to kill. Sasuke's fear of fighting was something I knew for certain. But I didn't. I was aware that it was imperative to ensure our survival at all costs. Naruto's surprise was evident in his speech. He thought Sakura was not physically fit to fight, but she was pushing herself and shielding Sasuke while fighting. It was the most challenging task you ever attempted. Can you tell me how it went? When I couldn't move, I made myself shift and thought about safeguarding Sasuke. If I didn't succeed, he would, and I wanted to avoid that. I suppose that's what motivated me. She let out a loud yawn. Is it okay for you to take a watch? I've been up all night, and it was tough carrying your corpses here and using our shelter with traps. Naruto's nod was a brief and unforced expression. What is the explanation for this statement? Sakura, thank you for that. If it weren't for you, we would have probably been dead. She sported a slight smile. I'm simply executing my work duties. She walked alongside Sasuke and dozed off on the ground. During the exams, Naruto had accomplished several feats, including saving a girl, fighting an S-rank rogue ninja, and meeting the nine-tailed fox. His thoughts were directed towards Sasuke and Sakura's actions. Even though they weren't friends, Sasuke stood by him without any apparent reason. Sakura went beyond her limits to prevent them from being certain of their fate. For the next hour, it kept him guessing for a minute while he looked around and searched for chakra sources. Despite his doubts about Orochimaru's return to them, they still had to locate a Ein scroll, and he needed to devise an appropriate trap. His plan was to keep a group of shadow clones under watch, eliminate the team, and capture their scrolls. It was Naruto's belief that it was the intended outcome. He soon discovered that no plan can survive the initial contact with the enemy. Upon finishing his 2-hour guard duty, Naruto noticed that a trio of ninjas were rapidly approaching him. They experienced a watery sensation in their chakra. He waited for them to arrive and covered the shelter in a genjutsu, which made him smile. Subsequently, he would launch an attack on them. The ninja with black spiky hair asked Mubi, "Where are they?" The village hidden in the rain forehead protector, rebreathers, and yellow jumpsuits were worn by him and his teammates. I'm certain they were here earlier, Mubi, the ninja with bandages on his right eye, replied. The ninja with bandages on both his eyes growled, "We'll find them, Oboro." It's your right, Mubi, Oboro snapped. After the snake freak left, it would have been better to find a different team and spend some time tracking down the lightweights instead of spending time doing so. Remember the mission we were given by Lord Pain. Oboro stared at Mubi. Their magnificent supervisor provided them with an aim to monitor and observe the 3 Jinchuriki who were taking the exam. It was impossible to imagine that their leader would fail. I didn't have a clue. He glared at the shelter and gave a smirk, unaware that it was actually the false surroundings technique. It's going to be a breeze. Naruto was about to cast a shadow over the group of hidden rain genin when he felt Sasuke's chakra surge. It was not the same chakra as he usually would. Sasuke's chakra tended to be like a still warm, subdued flame, but now it was dark and corrupt, bubbling like an extruding sore. With his head tilted, Sasuke looked at Naruto as he stood up. Naruto. He began to laugh and stumbled out of the shelter. Sasuke's erratic behavior left Naruto feeling uneasy as he watched him go. What's the matter? Sakura asked gloomily, blinking multiple times to catch her breath. Had a fulfilling daydream. The sight of a purple, corrupted aura filling his eyes with wonder. After the aura receded, his body was covered in black flame-like marks. Are you all attempting to launch an attack? Did you succeed? He grinned sharply. He strained his muscles and charged forward, moving at a much faster pace than usual. He then headed up to Oboro and sent him crashing down the field with a powerful cross on the right. He opened and closed his hand before examining it with his knuckles. His punches were not only hard, but also bruised. It's this power. The Sharingan was activated, and the Tomo inside sprang into motion in an astonishing fashion. He then proceeded to flash the hand seals and jump into the air, finally putting an end to the tiger seals combination of two hands. The pitch was hit by massive fireballs, causing Oboro and Mubi to be caught in the flames and their clothes to catch fire. After landing, Sasuke made a move and headed towards Kagari, who had used Hei's clones to avoid the attacks. Sasuke was able to see through the clouds and catch the true Kagari, holding his head up in his hands before sinking into the ground. I can't witness this, but I am responsible for your life, which I hold in high regard. Sasuke chuckled and slowly bent Kagari's head to the left. He couldn't bear the terror of his opponent, so he turned Kagari's head inwardly. Kagari's neck snap was the only sound heard in the forest. After dropping Kagari's body like the garbage of yesterday, he headed towards Mubi with the intention of killing him. He turned his back to find footsteps penetrating the ground and then saw Sakura approaching him. The sound of Sakura's flat hand smacking Sasuke's cheek hit the treetops with great force, prompting him to ask, "Sakura, can you tell me how strong I am? What's up in your mind?" Sakura asked, grimacing her face. Sasuke's head trembled and he paid no attention to the dull pain in his cheek. He didn't let his grin go away. "I'm just trying to find out how strong I can get. Are you able to test your strength?" Sakura continued. Sasuke was swung over by her and she grabbed his shoulders. "That's not your style, no doubt about that." Naruto responded to the situation by spending 2 cents on Mubi and Oboro, who were being wired with ninja wire. "This power is too great to be ignored, Sasuke." Sasuke exhibited a grimace and bewilderment. "Naruto, you are a talkative person." His Sharingan was turned off. Snake enthusiasts may have been aware of the nine-tailed fox's chakra, which was utilized to defeat Orochimaru. "You were unable to defeat him." Naruto acknowledged that Sasuke was aware of his status as a Jinchuriki and took the risk seriously when he said, "I know what happened." "Is it irrelevant? My sole intention is to seek revenge on my clan by any means necessary." Sakura struck Sasuke in the stomach, causing him to be startled by his actions. Sakura yelled out, "Shut up," and began to cry. Despite Sasuke's ability to endure great pain, she couldn't believe that he had become so easily corrupted, despite being one of her heroes. "Sasuke, you are better than this. I am aware that you are. Don't let this thing take over your life, Sasuke." The black marks on Sasuke's neck returned, and he tumbled due to his curse. Sakura seized him and affectionately grasped him. "Sasuke." With a tearful demeanor, she declared that you had accomplished it. Naruto resorted to the captive genin, allowing his fellow characters to enjoy their own version of genius. "What's up next? Which scroll do you possess? If you agree, we'll grant you access." "It's important whether you release us or not," Mubi pondered. "Kagari's demise has been announced. We are unable to compete in this exam anymore." Naruto's sigh was heard. "Just make sure to give me the scroll and I'll guide you on your journey." "Ein scroll is in my possession," Oboro stated. Naruto had 4 shadow clones create a perimeter around them, which was meant to warn against the dire consequences of any sudden actions by range shinobi. After Oboro handed over the Ein scroll, he and Mubi took Kagari's body before leaving. What is the explanation for this statement? Sasuke questioned Sakura, with a raspy tone caused by exhaustion. Sakura asked, "Where's my shirt?" with a smile on his face. Naruto nodded and smiled at Sakura's frantic expression. "Now you have the scroll, man. Let's move." After removing everything from their shelter, including the trap Sakura created, Team 7 was ready to depart. However, Naruto ceased motion and looked in one direction as he sensed a familiar chakra. Naruto turned and saw Karen in front of him. Her short-sleeved olive-green shirt had a tear on it, and the bandages were visible around her shoulder. Karen asked, "What are you doing here?" with a smile on her lips. "I was on the lookout for you. Why did you say that I wanted to help you, and thank you for doing this to me? Naruto, I am grateful that you were able to save my life." Her cheeks were reddish and tinged with profuse tears. "Your chakra was the first thing I felt when I listened to you." There was a dearth of it. She maintained eye contact with him without hesitation. "I can't say it enough. I'm not sure what to make of it. I have a method that can assist you in rejuvenating your chakras." Naruto contemplated the ease of doing that for himself. He then glanced at Sasuke, who was sluggish as Sakura helped him put on his shirt, much to the frustration of Uchiha. "Ask my teammate to do it for me?" Karen blinked before eventually nodding. "I'm satisfied with that. Sasuke, I request you to come over here." Sasuke, with a grimace on his face, moved closer to Naruto while Sakura followed closely behind. Sakura inquired, "Who is this?" "I had the pleasure of meeting Karen, a girl I met during the exam. She's really nice and at ease with me. She stated that she has the power to restore Sasuke's full strength." Sasuke inquired, "Are you convinced of the information that Naruto was revealing to you?" Karen said, "Just grab my arm, I'm done. I'll be fine. I have to get back to my teammates quickly, so it's best to do it right away." Sasuke gave a shrug after observing, performing, and experiencing more uncommon phenomena in the forest of death. He bit Karen's arm and Sasuke felt his entire body pulsating with excitement as Karen watched her wince. Feeling reborn, Sasuke smiled and expressed his happiness. "I feel pretty good. I give my thanks in earnest." Despite feeling tired, Karen smiled and put a hand on her forehead. "It's not a problem at all. It's time for me to get moving." Sasuke's chakra was suddenly sucked by the cursed mark. As he held his shoulder, his smile turned to a dark scowl. "Naruto, can you tell me if your friend is going to be okay?" "As far as I know, he won't be bad." He looked at Karen with a warm smile. "I'm so glad," Karen exclaimed, rubbing her cheeks red. "Naruto, whenever, is a time for any and all." Karen ate a soldier pill and left the clearing, saying, "Goodbye." After taking care of Sasuke, Sakura turned to Naruto when she observed him recovering from the curse mark. "If you could, Naruto, I'd choose to honor you with the title of Most Unpredictable Genin. To tell the truth, the things you get caught up in are sometimes unbelievable." Her expression brought a smile to her face. "In general, they are not always that bad." Naruto's expression was a smile. "Thanks to all of you." Sasuke's excitement was palpable even after the curse mark vanished, as his eyes lit with glee and his heart raced with blood from all directions. "I say, let's finish this exam." The tower was reached by Team 7, who luckily managed to avoid being disturbed by anyone. Naruto was captivated by Sakura's use of the word Naruto after Team 7 entered the tower. During one of Sasuke's lectures, he explained, what was the significance of his chakra for the Nine Tails. The fourth Hokage is said to have killed them all. "It's sealed in there," Naruto said plainly. Naruto had to explain it to Sasuke and Sakura, who were already familiar with the concept. If he didn't, Naruto was convinced that they would inquire about it with Kakashi or someone else. It was his obligation to bear the responsibility, not anyone else's. The meaning of killing was conveyed, even though killing a tailed beast is an unattainable goal no matter how much effort you put in. Oh, my God. She remembered her parents' discussion about it being the best idea to steer clear of Naruto, she said. The reason behind Sakura's actions was not due to his bad character, as his parents never explained the reasons. Having learned the truth, she now regrets how she treated Naruto. She was ignorant of his situation and how he would not be associated with him due to his status as a Jinchuriki. It didn't justify his behavior during his time at the academy, but it did provide some justification. What is the explanation for this statement? Sorry, Naruto. I was unaware, and if I had knowledge, maybe I would have been more courteous to you. Are you interested in going out with me? Naruto asked, somewhat sarcastically. Sakura trembled as she spoke. It's not a question of course. I don't think you would be my type. With a shrug, Naruto proceeded to say. I expected it to be like that. Even so, it's not a major issue. I am not interested in dating anyone who is older than me. Naruto is a brand that I am considering. Sasuke's eyes were soft and gentler than usual. I don't see a difference between you and me. Due to a monster, we both found solitude and possess powerful marks or seals that come with significant financial burdens. Even though Sasuke was aware of the cursed marks. Potency, it still consumed him with its food every time he moved. He could only imagine the sensation of being ensnared by a tailed beast that had the power to control him. Naruto inquired if you had been his friend at the academy. I thought I would miss you, he replied. I'm not sure, but I don't know. You might be able to ask me where you're coming from, but it's your call to not be completely unacceptable and worth my time. Naruto nodded as he spoke. It was a good one for me. Eventually, they arrived at a grand chamber with inscriptions on it that depicted heaven and earth. Is it appropriate for us to open the scrolls? Naruto inquired. We have a scroll with two aspects, yin and yang, Sasuke suggested. It's a good question to ask. To put it another way, let's examine it from a more sensible angle. Sakura stated that yang is a form of physical energy, similar to what earth is. Heaven and yin are equivalent to each other in terms of spiritual energy or spirit. Having yin, but not having it, means you'll be incomplete, and there's no need to have a lot of yin or less of anything. With both, you'll be whole and balanced. Naruto explained that chakra is obtained through the combination of physical and spiritual energy, utilizing the same process as Sakura suggested. Sakura nodded off. At 3, Naruto will uncover the scrolls. Together, Naruto and Sakura retrieved their scrolls and proceeded to roll them out. Naruto briefly caught sight of the strange symbology and smoke billowed from the scrolls as they merged. Naruto inquired, Iruka-sensei, once the smoke dissipated. Iruka always seemed a source of happiness for him. Despite Naruto's attempts to put him on the straight and narrow, Iruka was the first to acknowledge him in his life, and he would always hold that perspective in high regard. Iruka smiled and said, Sir, all right, you're welcome. I was positioned here to receive the participants who passed the second round of the Chunin exams. The primary aim of this test was to evaluate how one would behave in a foreign environment when presented with responsibilities as part of their mission objectives. The aim was to assess your aptitude in teamwork, flexibility, improvisation, and combat skills, among other things. In addition, the scrolls were linked to your examination and are based on the fundamental principles of chakra. Yin, or spiritual energy, is characterized by its cool, compassionate and passive nature. Essentially, having ample yin energy means that you can handle situations with a calm mindset and avoid losing control. Yang, the physical energy, is hot, fervent and dynamic. If you possess a significant amount of yang energy, you can overcome pain and fatigue to achieve your desired outcomes. If you lack yin or yang energy, you can use mental or physical techniques to overcome these deficiencies. The combination of these elements creates a chakra, which is an essential aspect to consider. He smiled at each of the three. Good day, you've passed your test. I'll take you to your barracks where you can rest for a while. What is the explanation for this statement? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe for more content. Support the original author by clicking their profile link in the pinned comment of the first video of this series. They deserve the love. Want early access and exclusive content? Join my Patreon community, link below. Your support fuels these videos. Drop a comment with your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next video. Stay entertained, stay safe.